ATO is examining thousands of Australians after confirming multiple people have accessed their superannuation despite not being eligible. But new data has also been released showing the amount of money Australians need to retire has dropped as many costs of living fall during the pandemic. Well, joining me live now is Sophie Elsworth, the News Corp national personal finance writer. Sophie, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. So just elaborate on some of that detail.
So the ATO, Pete, is looking into people who have accessed their super incorrectly. So we've already had 2.72 million Australians access over 33 billion under the early access to super scheme. Now, Pete, it's actually a self-assessment model. So it's basically relying on you telling the truth. Now, the ATO is looking into this and has found that, of course, there are some people who are not eligible and haven't suffered income drops during the pandemic that have accessed their money. So the interesting part, though, is that no one has actually had any action taken against them despite doing the wrong thing.
Just break it down for us, Sophie. In terms of averages, how much does a couple and how much do singles, how much do they need to retire comfortably?
So according to the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, couples need about $640,000 once they stop work. And for singles, they need about $545,000. Now, this is interesting in itself because it goes on the premise that you own your own house outright and you have good health, but you could also access a part pension. So it's not, that is not the sole amount of money that you'll have. It's going on the premise that you will be able to access a part age pension as well.
Yeah, I wonder during this debate at the moment, Sophie, too, how much that might be affected by people withdrawing their super too early.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Pete. Look, there's been a lot of modelling thrown around on this. It's a political hot potato at the moment. You've got the superannuation guarantee potentially or legislated to rise to 12%, climbing from 9.5 to 10% next year. But Pete, I can't see that happening. I mean, we have so many people unemployed. We're facing double-digit unemployment in Australia. And to think that we're going to have potentially money pulled out of our pockets and put into our super doesn't make sense to me.
So how has that walked back, Sophie? I mean, it's legislated to go ahead. Is it basically, is war about to erupt in Canberra over it again?
Absolutely, Pete. The political gloves are off in Canberra. This is a fight between the Liberal coalition and Labor for sure. I mean, you've got Labor obviously with the unions on their side. They want to see this increase go ahead. There's a lot of people on the backbench in the coalition that are saying, no, this should not go ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I have been told, Pete, by people within government that it is possible to unpick this legislation. And my bet is that that will happen and the increases won't go ahead at the moment.
Well, I mean, even the Prime Minister's language has softened a little bit, have you noticed, when it comes to this?
Absolutely. I mean, he's got to explain to people that you are going to potentially forego any possibility of a wage increase and have money tipped into super. It just does not make sense for businesses at the moment who are fighting for their lives to be financially viable, to take money out of workers' pockets and put it away for saving when they're finishing work. They need that money now.